Welcome to Rachel Makes. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to show you how to make some really cheap and easy fish cakes. Okay, so I'll tell you what we need. I've got 250 grams of leftover mashed potatoes here. If you don't have any leftover mashed potatoes, you could use maybe a can of mashed up potatoes. They're really cheap canned potatoes. Okay, 1 egg, which I've whisked. Whisked is a bit of a fancy word for it actually. I just kind of agitated it a bit with a fork. Okay, so no high expectations needed there. Some breadcrumbs, that's a thick slice of bread which I've just whizzed in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, which obviously lots of people don't, just grate it with a cheese grater. It does a perfectly good job. As you can see, these are quite big anyway, so it's no problem. They can be quite chunky and that's fine. And I've got a can of mackerel fillets here. Now this is 125 grams. These are brilliant. It's mackerel fillets in sunflower oil. I actually buy these from Lidl. They're ever so cheap. They're about 59p a can. So any canned fish or any fresh leftover fish would be absolutely fine. These are particularly good because they're really, really tasty. Okay, so what I've done is I've drained the oil out of the can of fish and popped it into the bowl here. I'm going to add the potatoes. Now I'm going to add a bit of salt and pepper to this. I'm just going to mash it together. Add some salt and pepper to this. Whoops. Not too much. The fish is actually really tasty on its own, so it's up to you what you want to add. I'll definitely add, I think, a little bit of pepper, but obviously you don't have to. It's to your own taste. You could add some chilli or something to this as well if you wanted to, which would be really, really nice. Obviously, you know, it depends how short of cash you are. If you wanted to, you could have a little bit more potato and just make more fish cakes that way. Okay, so I've mixed this together really nicely. As you can see, this is just incredibly easy. So now the next stage, well, I better take my rings off, or else I'll be getting mashed potatoes out of them for ages. The next stage is to just roll this into balls or make it into patties. Now you can make bigger fish cakes if you want to. In this house, people like to have these little tiny ones, and they're quite sweet. Okay, so there we are. Pop it into the beaten egg, okay, then into the breadcrumbs. And then onto the plate, and do that until you've run out of mixture. Okay, so this is the mixture all used up and made into lovely little fish cakes here. I've made 8 out of that mixture, 8 small ones. So that would be enough for 2 hungry people, or maybe 4 very small, tiny people who don't eat very much, like models, for instance. Okay, so heat a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil in a pan. And then once it starts to get hot, and you can see the oil bubbling slightly, start to fry the fish cakes off. Now at this stage, before you cook them, you could just pop them in the fridge with some cling film over them and sort of have them for tomorrow or something like that. I mean, you can make them in advance and it's quite good to do that. But we need these quite quickly, so I'm going to cook them now. So everything in these is already cooked, actually, so it's a case of getting them nice and sort of crisp on the outside and heating them through, really. And the trick is not to keep messing about with them too much. Can't fit them all in. So don't try and keep turning them all the time. Have a little bit of patience and wait until they will have been crisp on the other side, which is a good couple of minutes before you turn them. So these have all had about 10 minutes cooking time in total. This is the last 2 that I couldn't fit originally in the pan. There we are. Now I think they look lovely. They hold together really well too. Okay, so that was my recipe for cheap and easy fish cakes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe, and I'd love to hear your comments. Nice ones, please. Bye-bye.